right, Rishus Balbais. Today was Yud Nissen. Right, so back in the days of yore, by Yitzias Rayim, it was Mishchu V'Khu, prepare a korban Pesach. That's what Reb Dani was. Of course, today it was Mishchu V'Khu to throw this together at the last moment. Apropos, it's amazing how everything is mechuvin b'ruach hakodesh, right? During this, of the mitzvahs of Pesach, which is our, this is where it all starts. Am Yisrael starts with Pesach, right? So there's the mitzvahs of Leil Seder divide up into two categories. One is Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim, and the rest are mitzvahs of Achila. Pesach, Matzah, Moror, right? And the common denominator of the two of them is that they're done with the mouth. Sipur is what the mouth puts out, and Achil is what the mouth puts in. Right? And this is actually something which is amok ma'od on the inyan of what the cherus is. That what it means that we became a free people. That it's brought down it's already in the Zohar and the Ariz Marchiv on it. That's called Chag Pesach. That the mouth speaks. That the dibur, the etzem koach dibur, was in Golus and got liberated. And it's not a coincidence that that the mouth that speaks is also the mouth that eats. The two go together. And then the pshat is like this. All right, that doesn't mean that the Dibur was in Golus and was finally liberated. Because we spoke about this on a few occasions in the last few weeks. Right, that the Indian of that the Odom has the Koach HaDibur is not for the purpose of communication. Animals communicate guns fine without language, and they don't have the shalom bias problems that we have, and they don't make wars like we do. Communication wise and attaining mutual understanding, they are way ahead of us. That's not language is not has not helped us with that at all. All right. The Indian of that the Yoram has the Koach HaDibur, that something that comes directly from the Neshama, like it says Vedom Nefesh Chaya, Nefesh Chaya. So everyone knows the Targum Unkos on Nefesh Chaya, which is as a result of having the Nishmas Chaim. It's as Ruach Memalala. The Indian of Dibur is to bring ideas into the world. You have an idea, but how are you going to bring it into Chalal Shalom? It'll remain in the world of ideas. You could put it into speech, and you could communicate it. You can make it part of the general consciousness of people. You could share ideas, and you could also give tzivuyim that a person should live based on ideas and not live just based on animal instinct. And the koach hadibur is koach to communicate ideas, right? And that's the glory of the Adam. And prior to Yitzias Mitzrayim, the dibur was being used the way dibur is used bisman hazeh, right? Where, like we said, the animals are doing much better job than we are. Right? They have adequate communication, and that's not what the Dibur is all about. The Dibur is all about bringing Kedusha into the world, bringing the ideas of the Torah into the world. That's why the Torah, which is Noivlas Chochmah Shema, was Nislabesh in Dibur, that could be communicated and shared with the Adam and be brought into the world. Right? That's what makes us better. But that's as far as bringing ideas into the world. That's top down. Then there's also, going bottom up. Right? Not just to bring Kedusha in, but also to elevate things. Right? There is tremendous potential for Kedusha in Gashmias. Gashmias, as it is naturally, is chayil. Right? It's profane and not holy. Right? And when Gash is profane and not holy, it's chayil and not kodesh. That's called that the Gashmias is in golus. It's in golus because it's not attaining its full potential. Because all of Gashmias could be kodesh. It could be Kodesh. Right? So, we bring ideas into the world, so you import Kedusha, but then there's also the Gashmias, that it shouldn't stay the same Gashmias. Right? So what's the Eitzah? Right? To bring up, the Nitzotzes of Kedusha that are trapped in things, to liberate them. Right? So you bring Kedusha into the world, but what about the Kedusha that's in Gashmias, right? To liberate it. It's in captivity, and it's sealed, and it's locked away in the Olam of Chulin. How do you get rid of it? How do you get it out? That's what Achila is, right? The koach of Achila, whether so in the big picture, right? Nationally, it's the Beis Hamikdash, and the korbanos are called korbani lach mishai, as the things, the behemoths and the oifus and the menachas, all these things become kedusha as they're consumed by the mizbeach. It's called achilas mizbeach. It's kivyachol. It's called it's being consumed. It's being eaten, and with that, it's being elevated. Every Adam was meant to do that also. Brother Gemara says, always say, as if kilo kadosh shori b'meav, used to review as if there's kedusha in your stomach. Right? And then, and akshav she'enim is be'ach kapar, shulchan shalom lechaper alav. And the Mesilas Yesharim tells us that after he beats up on you, you should eat less and less and less. When it comes to kedusha, when a person is attained the matter that he himself is a kaddish, then achilaso ka'achilas kachin, v'shtiyaso k'nesachim. Right? But before Yetzias Mitzrayim, just like the Dibur was in Golos, so the Adam who is the Medaber was no better than a Behema. Right? With being liberated, from Yetzias Mitzrayim, that the Dibur, just like the Peh, actualized its potential to now communicate ideas of Torah into the world. When the Peh actualized its potential in that direction, it now got the potential to go the other way, to import, right? That to elevate the Gashmias and convert it into Ruchnias. So the Peh puts ideas into the world, but the Peh could also take things in their Gashmi form and incorporate them in the Tzelem Elokim and bring these things to Kedusha. And it's called that you're giving Cherus, right, to the Kedusha that's already been hidden within Gashmias. So Yetzias Mitzrayim is mamish, just like it's that the Koach HaDibur is free to import kedusha into the world. It's a two-way street. It's also to export from Chol into Kodesh, and that's called Cherus to the kedusha that's been locked away in the Gashmias. Right? So it's very apropos. These two mitzvahs, the mitzvah of El Chag is either Achila and Dibur, both bepeh, import export. Import kedusha from the Oros Elyonim into Gashmias, but also to export from Chol into Kodesh, and that's done through the Achila. And this is the real tikkun of Chet Adam Rishon that's alluded to, right? That that after Adam Rishon was chote, so Kotz V'Dara Tatzmiach Lach, you're going to eat vegetation. So the Medrash says that when Adam Rishon heard that, he broke out in a cold sweat. Shema ani v'chamori niksharim le'evusachas. Me and my donkey will eat out of the same feed bag. Meaning to say, I'm no better than my donkey. When he heard Bezeh Sapecha Tochal Lechem Niskar Radaito. When he heard Bezeh Sapecha, he calmed down. So it explains the Maharal, because in Lechem there's Chochmah. It doesn't grow naturally that way, right? So that means that there's Chochmah in the food. The Adam eats, you are what you eat. If the Adam eats food that has intellect in it, that shows that the Adam is on a higher madrega. He's still an intellectual being, right? And he's not in the same league as his Chamor. And he's not eating out of the same feedback, meaning to say his eating is not the same eating as the eating of a behema. And that's the eating of matzah. That's what's brought down in Zohar. That's michla de mesvasa, right? It heals from the Chet Adam Rishon, right? It's a tikkun for Chet Adam Rishon that was actually done ba'achila, right? He ate something he shouldn't have eaten. And that's when the Koach HaDibur went into goals. Because you import with your mouth what you shouldn't import, you can't export with the mouth kedusha anymore. Right? So when he ate something he shouldn't have eaten, the mouth lost its koach for over 2,000 years. By Yetzias Mitzrayim, the gula for Koach HaDibur, just like the power of speech got liberated, the power of eating got liberated, become elevated. That our eating is not the eating of like animals. Our eating is an inyan of importing things into Malchus Shamayim and elevating them and liberating the nitzitzis of kedusha that's in it. But mamash, what we do in this chabura whenever we meet. According to Zakenu, that shenocha min azvachim apsachim b'mhera b'yamein.
Amen.